is confidence something that you build, or are we faking it until we make it?
This is
Good,
juicy.
isn't it?
And we always like the why question. It's
I
so
think
powerful.
so many people will be having like a ding moment right now.
Sometimes we do reach that point. I physically cannot carry on. I need help. But sometimes it's the recognizing that I don't want to carry all this on my own.
Where you've made me curious is this like this inner child. Are you searching for who you were because that was the better guy, or are you searching for like this? For me, this topic is massive because skin isn't just skin. It's your story and I'm here for it. I'm Kelly Saynor. Are you ready for some Barefaced Chat? Let me introduce you because I can't not do it without probably wanting to choke up. Already feel it. So thank you so much for joining me today. But Caroline, let me just talk to you about what you mean to me so far. Some people walk into your life and change how you speak to yourself. Caroline Reid is one of those people. She's been a mentor, a cheerleader, and a friend, has soon become a friend to me and a real lifeline. She's helped me personally navigate some of my biggest crossroads. She helped me build the emotional resilience to do what I do. Here we go.
We're both going to go. I've not even started.
Caroline is a life and business coach who blends mindset, energy, intuition, and leadership in the most grounded and powerful way. We're going to talk about confidence, worthiness, skin shame, and the inner work that has to be done before transformation can happen. She has her own podcast and built an amazing business. I trust you completely. And I'm honoured to have you on the show. So, Caroline, welcome to Barefaced Chat.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. I think even just the journey to you doing this has been incredible. And so much of that, it just comes from within here. It's been within you this whole time, hasn't it? And now the confidence to sit here and we're doing this together just feels very 360 moment.
It's a real 360 moment. And, you know, I have to attribute it to you and me, but to you, because without having met you and without you having given me the confidence, this was a dream. We talked about podcasting.
We did.
And I'm like, I've done my first 6. You're like, what?
Yeah, but you don't mess.
No.
I have literally called you like the most insane manifester.
You know, I've always like said to myself, can you be all the things? Can you be a practitioner that's spiritual? What was I like with that word when we first met? I was like, what does spiritual mean? Am I that? Like, are we talking Christian?
The woo-woo.
Like, the woo-woo. The woo-woo. It's like, you can't do both.
So
you know,
true, but you can.
But you can. It's just defining that word and what that word means. And, you know, you've allowed me to do that with such grace and, you know, like I say, just low effort. It's just not felt like I've had to find it in a way. You think you've got to find it. You know, when people talk about finding yourself.
I hear this all the time. Like, you're going to find yourself when you're under a waterfall in Bali.
Yeah.
And if you aren't able to get to Bali and stand under this certain waterfall, sorry, it's not available to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's not, it isn't. And I think it is those words. I'm on a discovery journey, or I'm going to find myself.
Yeah.
It allures to it being outside of us.
Yeah.
But so much of it is the shedding.
Yes.
To come back to ourselves.
Yeah.
Releasing all the conditionings, releasing all the beliefs.
Yeah.
And ultimately it's this like beautiful, just this like nectar inside of us that we come home to rather than, so it's still finding.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's more of an internal digging, isn't it?
Totally.
Than like looking outside of ourselves.
Well, I think that word gets like really misconstrued. And when I see patients that feel like they're on skin journeys, you know, it's a really interesting journey that I have with them because I know them for years. or just for, a few sessions, and seeing the different personality types, the different types of people, never judging a book by its cover. Like I feel like it's got a real parity, because I think that you don't think that you are spiritual, because that word means so many different things to so many different people. You don't think God, she doesn't look like she'd have Botox and fillers. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
There's a real, and we'll get into that, because I want to ask you some questions that relate to skin, but really about being an inner confident person.
Yeah. Ultimately, that's what we're seeking. I truly believe when we are looking at having aesthetics done and we're on that skin journey, ultimately, well, I can't speak on behalf of everyone. It's each to their own, but a lot of people want to feel more like themselves.
Yeah.
They want to feel the best version of themselves.
Absolutely.
Not, I want to be like somebody else.
100%.
It is again, it's that coming back to self.
It's all about the identity.
Yeah.
And you. And when a friend said to me, you just are. There isn't anything else. Yeah. You just are. That friend knows who he is, but there's just a be to be, which is amazing. So, Sam, I'm talking to you. Okay, so let's get into it, because I think, you know what, we're just going to go off on a piece. We're just going to watch Lyrical, but a lot of this stuff will be covered anyway. But I want to, anybody that's listening, I want them to, I'm going to squeeze every juice I can out of you, babe.
Go for it.
Essentially, I just want to squeeze you. So we're going to have a look at different themes that I think will really resonate with people that are listening, and if they can just be introduced to you in the way that I have in the time that we've got, like that would be my dream, because they have to see what I see. They're not all going to get to do it. You have to pay to do that, but you got all joined because there'll be no space for the rest of us. So let's talk a bit about confidence, like beyond just skin deep. Because one of the things that I feel that's made me a bit different as a practitioner is that we don't just talk about lines and wrinkles. We talk about, I want to know about that, why they're sat in the chair, why now? Why, do people know about it? What's changed? Are you sure this is what you want to do? Is it this though? Are you sure it's this that's going to change you? We just don't do, I've got a line and that's the way it goes. I can't. I can't do it.
Which I think is what makes you so unique. And that, if there was this just across the board, I think it would open up so many different conversations, and ultimately, which goes beyond the skin. It does go beyond skin deep. And for me, the confidence piece, I think we grow up with this perception that the loudest person in the room is the most confident.
So true.
We grow up believing that if you have the most friends around you, you're the most popular.
Yeah.
That's the most confident person. And I think we almost become brainwashed into thinking confidence equals bigness. It equals
so true.
Loud, being extroverted, being most popular. And I find the more that we go on this self-discovery journey, the more that we find ourselves, let's say.
Yeah.
The confidence piece is actually recognizing that none of that truly matters. And it isn't extroverted versus introverted. So have I got the biggest lip, the biggest boobs, the biggest whatever else compared to somebody else? And actually, I think the more that we come back to our unique, authentic self, yes, we can make those enhancements, because it doesn't come from a place of self-loathing. It comes from a place of self-love.
Oh, we need to write that down. That's amazing. That is so true. And I think that would change the industry, actually.
Massively.
So many women feel like confidence is something that they have to earn. And, through like exactly as you've explained, and I kind of knew this had happened. It's so organic for us. this conversation that we kind of answer it without even these questions. And it's probably part of the thing coming through your head thing.
Totally is.
But
With crystals hid behind us.
I was going to say, oh God, yeah, exactly. But through, you know, they feel that they earn this like confidence, right? Especially as we get a bit older and people go, oh, you know, your 40s are the best years and all that sort of stuff. But through success, appearance, or perfection, where does that belief, do you believe, come from?
I believe so much of it comes from our conditioning from childhood. And I think growing up, we see these stereotypes in magazines, on the TV, on adverts. And I still look through the eyes so often as I almost put myself in the shoes of teenagers and young children. And like, how are they perceiving this?
So true.
Absolutely flawless, perfection teeth, skin is just this like dazzling, everything is perfect. And when we go back to like our generation's childhood,
So true.
it was the peak of airbrushing. I mean, now we have more advancements with that. That's probably more available with the likes of AI and all the tech that we've got. And I think it's great that there seems to be a movement happening where some companies are pulling back from that.
Yeah, you're right.
But for our generation, we were just shown this stereotypical perfect way of being, whether that was through playing with Barbies, whether that was, and like I remember my mum telling me from a really, really young age, she used to wrap cling film around her to go for a run.
I remember
to
this.
try to look as skinny as she could because that was just what was in.
Yeah, I
if
remember.
you weren't that, then are you really open to having that much success? Are you really going to marry well? Are you really gonna? And it's this like Disney mirage.
So true.
Of how we should be.
We grew up with our mums keep fitting and going to, you know, weight loss classes.
Dieting.
Weight Watchers was a massive thing.
Yeah. And I think obviously the skin and the way that they dressed, they didn't have access to probably to what we have now. I know my family didn't. We have way more access to it these days. But I think it's almost like it can be a little dangerous concoction. Yeah. If we don't realize that that's an imprinted belief, we just live within the frame of this is life. And in order for me to be accepted, for me to be loved, for me to be successful, for me to be liked, worthy ultimately, then I must be a different version than myself. Yeah,
that's a really interesting take on it. And I'm glad that you've touched on that, like worthiness. Because that's huge. I think that self-worth, that self-belief, you know, we don't get given the ability to sit in it because of the imprinting. So that resonates massively, and I'm sure it resonates with so many people that are listening. And I think that it would be useful to actually visit what you say, you know, because you talk about this in various different guises. And I think that if somebody wanted to explore that more, if they were really like, oh my God, this really resonates with me, they need to like look at what you say about it, because you do really go into that a lot, and that's really helped me. Yeah. That imprint, I didn't really know anything about it.
We don't. But we just grow up, don't we? And I think it is really important to kind of caveat it that most parents, however we were brought up, were doing the best that they could with what they knew, with what they had available, and their own imprinting. So much of it just gets passed down. We're in this generation. I see so much of this like chain breaker energy. I speak to you a lot about this. Yeah. And I think bringing conversations forward like you are, and the way that if you have someone in a chair, you don't just go, cool, lay back, let's go. Yeah. It's, where's this coming from? Yeah. What are you looking for here? Yeah. Is this truly, can we just, because that's what we need in all areas of our life, whether it's fitness. Yeah. If PT's adopted that more. Yeah. It's like, well, you've got your goal of weight loss or your big booty or like whatever the goal is. Who are you doing this for?
That's really interesting. You talk about generational, that word generational. How many different areas of our lives though is that true? And I think this is the cycle we've got to break. Weight, genetics, because it's a generational thing. Gender, mental illness, there are so many different areas.
Parenting.
All of it.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that is going to be really difficult to break away from.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you go to the GP, well, what happened to your parents? You get all the time. We're asked, really, aren't we?
We absolutely are. Even, I mean, in neurolinguistic programming, we often refer to the map of the world. You've probably heard me say this before, but by the age of 7, we've been through predominantly most of our imprinting by that age, and that forms our map of the world. So the perceptions that we have, whether that is the perception that we end up adopting about the government, the schooling system, how important education is, how to look after ourselves, is hygiene important, is it not important, is sex performing, or is it from love, is it all those things from... Obviously, a lot of that ends up over the age of 7, but the primal imprinting by the age of 7 begins to form the map that we perceive the world to be.
Yes,
and cultures and genders and everything to go in it. But with the more conversations we're having like this, we can then bring to the table that actually the map that you've perceived for however many years, what would it mean if you were to challenge that belief? Does that belief fit you? Does it feel good to you? What would it look like if you questioned it? And we always like the why question. It's
I
so
think
powerful.
So many people will be having like a ding moment right now. They were like, oh my gosh, yes. Let me just, I'm like, what? Like, you know, I think loads of people will be having that moment.
Yeah.
And that's what we want.
Yeah, we do.
So we've both worked in industries where like how you look can often become how you feel. What toll do you think that takes on you as a woman and you as a human, like how you look? Because you've done women's circles, you've worked in industries. Did you work on the ships? Did you say?
Yeah, well, I used to be a dancer.
A dancer, that's right. I remember you talking about the necessary need to be a certain way. Knowing that it's all about inner feeling now, do you think it would cause people pain really over time? That real juxtaposition with how you look will because also a recent study for you, there's a toxin that's been licensed for mental health. Because there is a link between when you look at yourself in the mirror and you look angry or unhappy, and toxins just been licensed the first time ever for psychological impact. If you look happier, you'll feel happier.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that incredible?
Wow. Well, that's our mirror neurons. And I mean, that makes so much sense. But the fact that that's actually been brought forward is pretty incredible.
Isn't it?
I do believe, I mean, I think there is just enough evidence either walking around the planet still, or I know this just sounds like so awful, but from celebrities, people that have passed, to evidence that if we keep hold of that perception that we get put on us, so as a dancer and performer, you simply wouldn't have a job if you didn't look a certain way. It was just, that is just non-negotiable. If your legs didn't fit into the boots, if your bum didn't fit into that, or you would be shamed.
Absolutely.
And our biggest avoidant is disappointment and trying to avoid shame and judgment. So you would just do whatever it takes to fit in, and you'd just be objectified. You'd be yes or no, and there was just no emotion in it. But that's an extreme. But I had body dysmorphia and lived years sitting around, say, a table with my friends out for dinner, and they're just chatting away, and I could sense their ease because it was so like, it was the startling difference between my dis-ease with my body, because I would be thinking, what are they thinking about what I'm eating? Am I eating too fast? Am I eating too much? If they order something different to me, I shouldn't have the salad dressing on my salad because they're going to think I've gained a few. And it was everywhere. I'd walk past a window in a shop and I'd catch a glimpse. It was, And it really does alter the perception of yourself. And I think whether that is bullying at school, online space, we've got more comparison available to us than ever before. We grew up with magazines, Ms. Magazine.
Miss,
That's always a
oh
favorite.
my gosh, remember Miss? Yes.
Miss Magazine.
I was in Shout, by the way. Gotta say that.
You were?
I was in Shout. Remember Shout?
You were in Shout?
I'll talk to you about it another time.
Why didn't you start with this?
Anyway, it's enough about me.
But with all of that we had, look at the impact it's had. So can you imagine with the likes of social media and that has, if we don't, and I'm just going to call a spade, if we don't wake up to the reality that we're looking through almost like, I don't know if this is the right term, but like objectified eyes.
Yes, yeah.
Because it feeds the economy.
Yeah.
If we all of a sudden just become like self-love, we'll have a pretty big dent, really.
Yeah, massive. I get that completely.
So it does impact us. And I think that the more that we learn to, like, I still look after myself but I've learned to accept. I think that's probably the key word.
Big word.
We accept ourselves as we are.
Yeah.
And if we want to enhance, we want to make ourselves feel good. And that comes from a place of, like we said, self-love over self-loathing. The world will be such a different place because we'll be giving off that energy and showing the next generation that we don't do this from a place of fear, lack of self-worth. It's
so
from a greater there is. Sorry, we get really
I could
deep.
talk for hours to you about this. I mean, we actually do. But I could, whenever you speak, there's so many words that are so emotive that you say that I'm like, look, can we just, that one, can we talk about that? Like, you just make so much sense.
Thank you.
You make so much sense. What does true confidence, and we've touched on it a little bit, like for you, actually look like? I feel like I could answer this more now than I ever could having worked with you. But what does true confidence like actually look like to you when no one's watching?
Oh, true confidence to me when no one is watching is where I'm in a time, a place, my own little bubble, and my personal values are being met.
Yes.
That is, and often it is the most simple thing. I might be in my leopard print, little matchy velour thing that my husband always takes the mick out of, and my mum asked, where have you been? Have you been to the zoo today? I was like, oh, this will get old soon. Never gets old. And I'm wearing what I want to wear. I have got I'm a metal girl. Like I love rock metal. Yes, I know, right? I'm not the stereotypical. You will find me at the full on front row of a Slipknot concert. Like that's my happy place. Right? Like the light in the dark.
I love that.
Brilliant. And I've got bare tooth plate. I literally did this the other day. I'm literally just recalling a memory. I had bare tooth on and I was making my smoothie and I'd put my collagen in and I felt all like grown up. And I had my little leopardy print thing on and I've just dropped my kids off at school and I went to school wearing what I wanted to wear rather than thinking, I'm going to get judged by the school mums, because the first 6 months of dropping the kids off at, I used to like tie my hair back and not wear too much jewelry. And then it was like, why am I watering down? It isn't that it's too much. It's just, I'm just diluting myself. For what? No one cares. And if they do, says more about them than me.
Absolutely.
And I just had this confident little sing-along play in my kitchen on my own. And honestly,
do you know what?
Sounds so sad, but I was so happy.
I think that'll give so many people, I think you've just given people the ability to do it. I think you've just given them the okay to do it, because I still do that now, you know, even though I'm coming to work, I might like get ready and whatever, but God forbid I would go, like, I feel like, okay, I'm representing Cole, I'm representing, I get honestly, I'm representing my family, you know, because of the imprinting that I've had, like, but you can't go out like that, you know, you know, in the nicest possible way. Yeah. But you feel like you're not just representing yourself. So to have that like belief, that inner, I'm not doing it for anybody. Who's looking? And it's them. It's not me. Like, you've just given somebody the ability to go, okay, that's fine. I can do that.
Yeah. It's so freeing. And I think when it comes down to our authentic identity, things like our music tastes, our food tastes, I didn't get time to do my nails. I'm a little bit devastated, but I'm admiring your beautiful nails.
Darling.
Wearing the colour that we want to wear. I went for this garish yellow last time.
I remember. It's gorgeous.
I loved it.
It looked great.
But it's like, it doesn't go with it. Who says what goes with what?
Yeah.
And it's breaking down and it's like one brick crumbles down and you're like, oh, it's safe for me to do this.
Yeah.
And each time we explore that, do you know, I have had an experience with this with a Greggs sausage roll.
I want to hear this.
Do you want to hear?
I'm all over this.
Right. Totally just tired, I promise. So I was driving home from somewhere. It was a work event and I'd been like down in Bristol or something like that. And I was driving up the motorway and I must have been a few years postpartum. Like, I'd had the boys a couple of years. And I was driving along and I was like starving hungry. I was like really, really hungry. And I was like, I'll just wait till I get home. Just wait till I get home. And I was like, no. Okay, saw the services. So I came off the services and I was looking at, you know, you can see the Starbucks and you can see this. And there was like the Leon or whatever it's called. And I was like, oh, I love that. And then I saw Greggs. And I just got to this point where I have this like, I have a thought and then my level of awareness will go, whose thought is that?
Okay.
It's quite tiring sometimes, but it's so powerful because I was just in a zone where I just question a lot of things. Where's that come from?
Yeah.
It's really powerful. And I was like, Greggs. And I felt this like judgment-y thing in me. And I was like, well, I've had a Greggs before. Yeah, but you've never had a Greggs on your own. You can't have Greggs on your own. And I was like, yeah, but could I have a Greggs on my own? And I swear I had this internal battle and I got down to my little root cause. It was, I couldn't eat a Greggs on my own out of a bag in shame because, and it was old dance teacher.
Stop.
It was bit of parents, and it was all these other voices. And I walked into Greggs and I bought myself a sausage roll and I walked back and I sat in my car in the middle of the car park. And I noticed even then I was like, oh my gosh, there's someone in the car next to me. And I was like,
I would be that girl.
and I pulled the sausage roll out and I was like, you can do this.
I'm dying for
ridiculous.
you. I'm dying for you.
And I took a bite and all the crumbs went all over me and it was greasy, but it was so tasty. And I allowed myself and I just sat back and I swear that broke like not one brick down. It was like a chunk of the brick wall down.
Did you have a truly like, what do we say, give no shits, fuck it moment?
Yes. Major awakening moment, me on the M6 services with a sausage roll. Like sometimes it's those moments where we think it's going to be, we unlock something and we stood on stage and we break through a confidence barrier that way, or we apply for something, we go for the promotion. Like I've ticked a lot of those typical vision boardy things off, but eating a fucking Greggs sausage roll on my own in the car was like bigger than
right up there.
so much.
I feel it though. I did feel,
Right.
I swear to you, I know it sounds like basic bitch, but that is like a major moment because I
Major
could
moment.
feel what you meant.
Yeah. And it was the thing about, my skin.
Oh, I'm already thinking, yeah.
All the things, what am I going to do with my hands after?
I'm right there with you, babe. I don't even know if I'd have done I don't even know if I broke the seal. I don't know if it was so
right?
because I don't even know if I could have done that.
And once I'd done it, don't get me wrong, I wasn't like queuing up at Greggs every day. But it was like, I can move through the conditioning that I didn't even realize was there. So even just going into a services, we're already, that map of the world has restrictions and T's and C's. Everything that we do has subconscious terms and conditions. And I was like, I'm over this.
Oh my God. So if you are just listening to this and you've just come in at sausage roll, it isn't just about sausage roll. Can I just say that?
It's
you have to
go back 5 minutes. Promise
means
it'll be
so much
worth it.
more.
Oh my God.
God, that's so, I know it's a sausage roll and we could write about that forever, but it's so powerful though, like that moment, because I think so many people do that without even realizing it.
100%. will drink alcohol because the friends are. The amount of money I spent on bottles of wine when we've all gone out, and I'll literally drink that much because I just didn't want to drink. But I'm like, I'll drink it because everyone else is.
So true. Every decision.
Yeah. Or I want a burger.
Yeah.
I love a burger.
Yeah.
I'm kind of giving away, like, I don't eat like that all the time, but I do love a good burger. And if everyone else, if 60% were ordering salads, I ain't ordering a burger.
Yeah, so true.
No way. We'll ask for the mayo.
No, I don't have that.
Like, no, yeah, I do.
You
now.
do have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like mayo and ketchup, please.
freaking
And I'll
amazing.
double dip.
I look, that you've just given everybody the okay.
There we go.
To have a Greg's. You can all have a Greg's now without feeling guilty. The only critic's going to come in.
Isn't it?
That's so interesting. And it moves on really, a really nice segue actually with that story that you just ended on to talk about nervous system and emotional health, because I think the two do go together, because you just talked about like what would happen with these decisions that you make and what you're, because that's something that you've really, I use this word a lot now. Like I know when my nervous system goes, wah, wah, I just know when it does it.
Yeah.
And it's all to do with that like conditioning. So I think this goes on really well, and you'll know why. So you've taught me so much about the nervous system and how emotional blocks show up in the body.
Yeah.
That was massive for me. Why do you think, and you'll just be like, oh my God, I can't believe the sausage roll comments. Let's segue easily into this, but why do you think so many of us ignore that connection?
Oh, I think
or have we covered it?
There's a couple of ways which are coming in, and I'm like, ding, ding, ding. One thing is we're purely not educated around it. It's like unconscious incompetence. We simply do not know. I had a conversation with a wonderful friend the other day, and she was like, I just don't get, she's been through a severe trauma. She's had a major loss in her life, and the circumstance of how it happened was your heart just, oh my God, it's on the floor. It's awful what's happened. And then she went on to have her children, 3 children. And she's like, I just feel like I'm on the end of my nerve. I just feel so stressed and I'm taking it out, and I just don't know why. I feel like I'm just losing my mind. And I'm like, your nervous system is a bit fried. Like you went through trauma. Have you processed what happened? Did you have time? Because when we experience, and we'll go there, I often refer to capital T trauma, which is whether it is severe loss, we witness something, we go through something, it might be abuse, sexual abuse, etc., or little t trauma. And those little t traumas are often the things that we make light of now. Like, oh, I was a kid and this happened. It was so embarrassing. Someone pulled my PE shorts down, or someone did this, and and we laugh the little t traumas off. Or it gets spoken about around the dinner table. Remember that Christmas when you, and we go, yeah. And we feel that sinking feeling. Our nervous system, when we experience something, especially shame related, it logs in. And it's like, I will do anything to avoid that happening again, because it wasn't only uncomfortable, it was the equivalent of there's a saber-toothed tiger in the room. So full on red flag, alarms go off. So then when we go on to, I don't know, I often use this example of speaking in front of a group or speaking up in a group. So whether that's doing a presentation or being comfortable speaking up in a group, if we've experienced things in the past where our nervous system has gone, not safe, your voice was told to be quiet, you sang too loud, or you got laughed at in the school choir, or the teacher asked you and you fumbled, or your parents kept saying, will you just shut up? Those kind of, it's like learned response. So our nervous system just goes, zzz, and it's on high alert. So then when we get asked, is there anything anyone wants to say before we end the meeting? Our brain is going, yes, I disagree with about 10 things. I want to play my part. I know I'm great for this job. I know. Nope, okay. And we get our coffee and then we regret, and then we go into the shame spiral that links it all the way back through again. So there's sorry, we go so deep with this, don't we? There's like the lack of the education. But if this was one lesson in school, we'd be living in such a different world. A completely different world.
Gosh, that's so interesting.
So we've got the education piece, and then we've got the, well, how do we nurture more of our nervous system? And it can be, it's the most simple things. And I think if we were to honor ourselves more, I call it a sacred pause, because everyone gets told, don't they? I don't know about you, but like, a woman in business, you've got your family, you're spinning all these plates. Oh, you should slow down.
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me a pound for that.
Just slow down. That's great. Like I tripped up because I was walking so fast the other day.
Same.
Full on face planted in a school.
Oh, dear.
Like, yeah, right. My knees bled and everything. But that's because I was skipping along and I was walking fast. And I see that as a little universal intervention, like, slow down, love.
Yeah.
That I'll listen to.
Yeah.
Karen
Physical.
going, slow down.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe not.
Has anybody calmed down when somebody says calm down?
No.
So yeah, the same works for just slow down.
Literally, it just doesn't work, does it? But I think it can be as simple as reconnecting with the moment. We plant our feet onto the floor. We root in. We can maybe put a little meditation in the notes. Maybe, I don't know. We can do something like that. That we can do. I can give a little rooting meditation or something.
Yeah.
And just hand on your heart. Feel your heartbeat come back to yourself. And that is, we spend so much of our time looking for validation when our nervous system is, because we're seeking safety.
Yeah.
If we don't learn safety's within, confidence comes from within, self-belief comes from within, we are constantly looking outside of ourselves for the validation and that safety loop.
Yeah.
And you put 10 people in a room whose nervous systems are all fried and everyone's looking for validation. That's where all the judgment comes in and the backstabbing and the bitching and all those things, because everyone's like,
so true.
Just on high alert.
So you know when somebody is really overwhelmed, but they like look fine, like the duck analogy.
Yeah.
One thing that I have to do very, very quickly, and I think people in my situation probably do the same thing, and you'll probably do this as well without thinking about it. I think when you are that person, and you use the term light leader, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But I didn't know what that was, and I wouldn't ever call myself that. So what you've used this term, right? But that's not come into what I do at the moment. But my point is that if somebody like looks overwhelmed, if they feel overwhelmed, but they look fine, are there things, there are signals that you get, and some people can't read those signals, even though they look fine. But I think one of the jobs that I do is I feel like I can sense it or I can see it, and it might be a really, really, and Vanessa Van Edwards talks about it actually in her cues, like it can be a really like an eye, like literally an eyelid flicker, or a slight raise of the brow, or a nervous like I'm fine.
Yeah.
Their voice might change.
Clearing of the throat is such a common one because it's the holding something back. But so many people are going around, they have in themselves for you sense that because you're an empath.
Okay.
So that's why it also makes you so good at what you do, because you can feel and sense beyond someone's word. If they say I'm fine and you pick up on that, you could be like, so how is everything? You might just ask that extra little question that lands in, and it's a beautiful skill to have. But for a lot of people, they have overridden their nervous system that many times that anxiety becomes norm.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
It becomes the habitual way to be. So every little red flag, I always say when people start, like, have you heard of that term, like dis-ease?
Yes.
It's disease. When we have the little red flags coming up, like people often say, oh, I keep losing my voice and I don't know why I'm having all this. I keep getting laryngitis, or I keep doing this, or, oh my God, I'm having all this IBS and I'm having to go and have these tests done. I'm doing all this stuff. And then they're like, but gotta run. Or, oh, I'm having a nightmare with my in-laws. And it's like they're suppressing and they're ignoring. I literally see anxiety as like a little red flag of the nervous system. And the more we just go, shh, not got time for you.
Yes.
You're an inconvenience. I've got a meeting tomorrow. It's my kid's birthday party at the Saturday. There's just never a good time. And that's why I'm a huge advocate for sacred pauses.
Wow.
Just little pockets. I did one. I pulled up in the car park and I'd just been with the kids in the school. And it was like, just took a little moment, had a look around, and I was like, that was it.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Yeah,
I
you're
didn't
right.
do anything, which is probably the key point.
Yeah, that's massive actually. And I think if we did just take a minute, 10 seconds.
Oh, 10 seconds. Just to recalibrate, how am I feeling? What do I need? And that's when I recognized when you went, do you want a drink? I was like, and I felt it in the car. I was like, I would love a coffee right now. So I was like, yes, I would love a coffee, please. And then it's having the ability to ask for what we want as well. Sometimes it's like, no, I'm fine, I'll have water.
Yes, that's so true.
It's like, yeah, I'd love a brew.
Yeah, and that's I know it sounds really ridiculous and a bit weird, but I'd be like, oh, she'll have a herbal tea. But I felt I was so pleased you said coffee.
Yes.
Right. Why is that weird? But I was like, she wants a coffee. Yes, she does.
Yes. And I'll have a sugar.
Something so simple.
Because we also expect, don't we? And I find this a lot. It's like, you're spiritual?
Yeah.
Or you're a life coach and you swear?
Yes.
You
oh my
listen
gosh.
to Slipknot?
Yeah.
I thought I knew you. But it's the map of the world of someone who works in this industry. It's so interesting.
So true.
Isn't it?
Oh my God, I could talk forever, honestly. It leads me really nicely onto this next one because I think it's so easy to talk through this with you because it defines so much of our everyday. And I think people that are in high-powered, jobs or just being mums, it didn't need to be a high anything, just being every day.
That's the highest powered job, I think, under the sun.
Absolutely. And they don't like this term of this, like, because it puts you in a box of something or the expectations of something to be in. We're all, whatever, when I saw my psychotherapist years ago, I was having therapy and I was talking about, like what fills your cup, what I was like, no, I'm fine. I mean, I shouldn't even be whinging about this because she was like, okay, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
Your cup is full, one more drop and it can overflow. Everybody's cup's different. And that's never like left me because that means so much. But in terms of doing your everyday and regulating your emotions, you've just said it really. Taking a breath, taking a minute. You don't need to do yoga. You don't need to go swimming. You don't need to shame yourself into the fact that you're not doing gym today. You don't need to, if you want a glass of wine, have one. It doesn't have to you don't have to do anything. You can just sit in the car and just sit in your room and just have 10 seconds.
And that is breaking the conditions of what we believe we must do, which then takes the pressure off.
Okay, got that.
So we don't have to have, like you just said, the wheatgrass shop and sit on our heads for half an hour to do mindset.
Yeah.
I often say probably the best time is when you're in the shower, when you're washing up, because you just got the blue ocean thinking space because your hands are busy, your feet are still.
Yeah.
And your head's clear, or driving, commuting. Great time, walking the dog. But we so often, and I have to rein this in sometimes, I'll take the dogs on a walk and I'm like, right, I'll catch up with this. I'll bring that person back. I'll do this and da-da-da. And I'm like, and I have to say, as soon as I say it out loud, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And I go onto YouTube and I'm like, what do I need today? And my algorithm knows me really well. So I play like roulette.
Yeah.
I'm like, show me.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
And then the most amazing interview or something or a podcast. But to summarize it, I see it as we are on output all day.
Yeah, that is
we are
very
plugging everyone else in, everything in, making sure everyone's okay. And how often are we on input?
Gosh.
Because we charge our phones at the end of the day. So we go to sleep, but that is sometimes about it. So it's the little things and this is why I think if you are busy and you've got a lot of pressure and you're doing all those things, wearing what you want to wear becomes important. Painting your nails the color, go and get whatever that is for you. If you want a skin treatment doing, you want to, and go do it because it is something for you that is just for you. And if it comes from a place of goodness, oh my God, your cup's full.
Yeah, the whole I can't possibly do that is massive. And again, it's just so easy. This is like a segue. This is like every time we talk about something, I'm like, okay, yes. It's like you put it in already. So on the theme of like identity burnout and rebuilding again, because I think this moves on really nicely because we've talked so much about all of these different issues that go into forming who you are and giving you the out and the ability to make these decisions that otherwise have been conditioned out of you. 100%. You coach people, you will probably coach people that feel that they're at their most raw.
Yes.
Because it's that's when you go, okay, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
I need help.
Yeah. We're at a crossroads.
Yes.
And it feels vulnerable
Yes.
and scary. And yeah.
You don't tend to go, I'm good. Right, I'll look for a coach. You know, why is that? But, you know, we tend to do it at our most vulnerable, right? So like mid-divorce, burnout, business breakdown. What's the first thing that in your experience you feel that they need to hear? Or does that really vary?
Oh, I think probably the most common thing when I really span back over all the years, the most common thing that people need to hear is everything's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you're safe. And that first step, I don't know if you remember this or if we get, but sometimes on a discovery call, when we first have that initial call, I find myself saying, just take a moment, like, well done for taking that first step. Even if we don't move forward from here, the fact that you have said, okay, I don't want to, I can't carry all this on my own. Sometimes we do reach that point. I physically cannot carry on. I need help. But sometimes it's the recognizing that I don't want to carry all this on my own. What does that look like? Is it safe? Can I share? Like some of the things I hear, as you can imagine, it's the deepest, darkest parts of people that we kind of scoop up and do this to. It's like, doesn't make you any less worthy, doesn't make you any less of a human, it doesn't make you anything. You just are. And it's like bringing and calibrating those parts back to you. So I often think it's like it's safety we're looking for. Like it's safe to be doing this. Wow. A little pat on the back, because often, like you say, we're kicked down, aren't we? And then we've got to pull ourselves back up. And everything is going to be okay.
Do you know what I felt?
And
felt
sometimes
like
that's enough.
Just privileged to be able to do it. Is that a conditioning thing?
Can be a condition, depends on where it comes from and what it evokes in you. So if it's, I feel so privileged to do this, I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Then it's coming from what I would say like a good golden place. It's your light. It's when we recognize that not everyone has access to this. And and if it comes from a place of like, God, I'm privileged, I should really make the most of this. I better not tell anyone because this is very privileged of me to be able to do.
Interesting.
And that's a bit of shame.
Okay.
So there's a fine line. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But it would be, what emotions does it evoke when we think, oh God, this is a privilege.
And does that change with going back to the question that you said before, what people need to hear?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd probably, my guess would be, I would sense.
Got you.
If one thing that I do find people saying a lot is, I know this sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know this isn't really a problem, but, and then they share it. And I'm like, and then I wait for them to have the penny drop moment where it's like, oh yeah, that is a thing.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that is. Or sometimes they don't hear it themselves and I'll mirror it back.
Oh,
I'll be like, so there's this friend I know and she was telling me, and I'll relay their story and you can see their face like, oh, that's what I've been through.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and it's, yeah.
That's really interesting. Wowza. God, could listen to all day, couldn't you? God. So talking about that then, their emotions, identities, if somebody feels like they've, I don't know, lost their identity, I've lost me. And we hear that a lot. And I hear that a lot in the job that I do. Yeah. I just feel like I've lost me. I don't recognize myself. Yeah. You know, in the midst of being a mum, my job, menopause, dating, in my marriage, with my friendships, the sea of life, not knowing what I want to do next. I've lost me. And that's when, you know, we need to dig deeper, especially where aesthetic treatments are concerned. Because it's not like, you know, like in the Peter Pan thing where they go, Peter, you know, and they sort of suddenly see his face. Like all of a sudden we're going to do fillers and they're going to see themselves again.
Yeah. 10 years ago.
You know, this is what I mean. That's not what you're trying to find. But what gets me and where you've made me curious is this, like, this inner child. Are you searching for who you were because that was the better guy, or are you searching for, like, this? For me, this topic is massive. And when I wrote this, like, what's your advice for somebody who feels, I'll just read it, but for me, it's just so much more.
Yeah.
For somebody that feels like they've lost themselves to their business, to motherhood, to their body, to whatever it might be, what would you say to somebody, or is that just like too broad?
Oh my God, no, I love this. I love you. So I would say, even if we just play with the language just for a moment, that first, you haven't lost. It isn't something that has ran away or is hid under a bed or we've forgotten.
Okay.
And I think even just that little pre-frame, it's like, it's okay. You've forgotten how to have fun yourself.
Yeah.
You've been pouring so much of yourself into your children that you've simply forgotten what it's like for you to feel nice going and finding some clothes, getting ready, and maybe going out with your girls. So it isn't that you've lost that part of me that used to love partying. Sometimes our values can shift. We just don't want to do that as much anymore.
Yeah.
So if we start to see it as we've just forgotten, and then I would be saying something like, what parts do you want to remember? Because when they're like, I just want to go back to how I felt when I was, and I'm like, how old were you when you did that?
Oh, wow.
Well, I was 24. And then they light up and then they start telling the story that I was 24. And I was like, what was it you were doing? I was at uni. This was someone with their body. They just wanted to go back to when they were a size 10 and they felt this amazing energy and da-da-da-da. And I was like, what was different in your circumstances? Well, I was studying at the time. How old were you? I was 24. I'm like, okay. So you've had 2 children since then. You've been married. Your marriage looks like it's going to come to an end. You've moved cities. You've got a desk job.
Wow.
So practically, life is completely different. She was studying at the time and had a gym on campus. So she would be in the gym every single day, every single morning, and sometimes on an evening.
Wow.
So I was like, so how much time have you got? So sometimes it is looking at the practicalities of the identity that we think we want, because sometimes it will change. But going back to that, what parts have you forgotten? What parts do you want to remember? We get to cherry pick the parts that actually fit the reality right now. Because going to the gym at 6 a.m. every morning for 2 hours, followed by an evening yoga class, if you're working, you've not got family around you, you've got 2 kids, is that
what pressure?
Yes. And if it is realistic, is there pressure there? So what parts do we want to carry forward? And then I always say this like energetic line in the sand. What parts do you want to reinvent? And it's so much more empowering. How do you want to feel going into this next era of your life or chapter of your life? So if you've lost parts of yourself, remember the bits that you want to carry forward, and then you get to choose. You get to choose to go and discover new parts of yourself. Maybe go try a different class. I would always say, like, what have you always wanted to do but never thought you could? Oh, well, I've always wanted to run a 10K, or I've always wanted to do it, but I'm not a runner. Okay, where did you learn that from? And you can just start. We can do this ourselves. It's just being uber curious of, if we tell ourselves we can't do something, why? That's kind of the crux of it. And if we tell ourselves, well, I've lost myself, it feels like that because we're serving everyone and we've plugged everyone else in. It's like, well, where am I plugged? So it's rediscovering, reinventing, and that's powerful.
Wowza.
It's so powerful.
Gosh, that goes, just hearing you talk then, we've almost like come full circle in that, like, I need to find myself. The word lost and found, you know, in the beginning of what we talked about, I need to find myself some sort of weird journey. But actually, when you just explained it, so many people can identify with, I've lost myself.
Yeah.
But when you say, go and find, you know, you read all these books and they say having to find yourself under a waterfall, like you said at the beginning, you know, I think that will resonate and make so much more sense when you talk about it like that. That like, have I lost myself? Now, just while I was talking, I wondered about this concept that, you know, to try and reinvent yourself and all that sort of stuff. Do you think people can get T-trauma or little trauma stuck in a place and that's what they're referring to when they've lost? Do you think something like can keep them stuck and then they're like, they have lost this bit of their lives to whatever that is? Do you think they get stuck in a place and then are on autopilot and then...
Yes. Just that is literally what can happen.
Right.
So we can say all of this and there might be one beautiful listener who's like, the penny just drops and they're like, I'm going to sign up to a pole fitness class. Yeah. Something I've always wanted to do. And I'm going to go and I'm going to wear my t-shirt and then slowly but surely as I feel more comfortable and I'm going to make new friends. Thank you.
Yes.
And then there might be someone else that goes, oh my God, I would love to do that. But there might be, it's what we would call a limiting belief. Okay. There'll be a block, or if we were to go really into it with the trauma side of it, part of our soul fragments when we experience trauma, if it's significant enough and if it's chipped away at enough. Yeah. So they can, this is where I work with a lot of people that have this like inner conflict because it's almost like their soul self is banging on this glass like, just go and book the damn class. Go and treat yourself and have that thing done that you've always wanted to do. Go and book the appointment. Go and reach out to that friendship group that you always see on a Thursday night as you walk past. Just go and do those things. But the inner trauma that they've been through, categorically, it's like handbrakes on, emergency brake, absolutely not. And then the nervous system's frying. So it's those two things kind of end up butting heads.
Got you.
So I would then say, it's just time to go within.
Okay.
Surrender. Go and do a bit of inner work. Yeah. Speak to someone who might be able to support you. And would you agree it's not a big harrowing...
No.
I think sometimes people think that therapy and healing and coaching is this snot bubbles every time. Absolutely. And we have to unearth. And sometimes like we welcome the snot bubbles. And
why do some men think that?
Well, that's conditioning. That's massive. Like we're talking generational, way up there conditioning. Yeah. And the stigma is starting to crumble. Yeah, I agree. And my husband would be more than happy because he said, I've written a post about it. He went to therapy again yesterday.
Amazing.
And I'm just celebrating that so much. Love that. I love a guy. I actually wrote a social media post to share saying the sexiest thing that my husband's done in 2025.
I swear to you.
Go to therapy.
I swear to God, that would be the same for me. Thing? Yes, it's sexy as hell. If a guy can do that for me, you've got me. Like, I completely agree with that.
And it was just, I was like, well, how was it? Yeah, it was good. It just felt good to talk. Okay, well done. Like, yes. Because I do this as a job.
Yeah.
And the thing, and we do laugh about this. He's been through some awful losses. Lost his dad, his sister, and recently his mum within like 5 years. And his mum just a month ago. And I can say the things that I would to a client. Yeah. And I can just see him look straight through me. And then he'll come down the stairs and he's like, Owen has just said, and he will literally say word for word, exactly what I've been saying for the last however many years. But it's not my place to go, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it landed. It's a different.
It is.
And I honestly think sometimes we need that external person.
You mean different things to him.
We do.
You represent different things for him.
Yeah.
So he will listen, but it won't go in, will it?
No. And it's just the same thing. So, and I think, because I've heard other people say similar things, and he came in and then I'm like, no, don't shame and berate. Even if he's on the golf course or wherever and he's overheard something or heard something on a podcast, celebrate the fact that men are starting to be able to, because the only person really that's holding them back, I would say women are like, yes to it.
Yeah, I agree.
But It's their inner
Yeah,
voice.
I
It's
agree.
dad or granddad or
Yeah.
uncle or
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah.
It isn't
Yeah.
the outside world necessarily.
No.
We couldn't really be we could definitely advocate for it even
But
more.
it's more now than ever.
More now
Yeah,
than ever.
I completely agree with that. So, this whole feeling again, this has just been so bloody effortless between us, but this feeling of like this whole I'm not enough, I've lost myself, like that whole word of I'm not enough. I've heard that so much on my bed. I've heard that my son said to me that he wasn't black enough or white enough. I was like, you're enough.
Oh my
Enough. This whole like I don't feel enough or whole. We've talked about the lost thing. We've talked about the fine thing. That word, I don't feel enough. Is it more about confidence? Is it not? What's your interpretation of the word I am not enough?
It's almost when we've separated where we've been chipped at away enough for it to cause a separation from our truth.
Okay.
Because we were born feeling enough. If we were hungry, we instinctively cry. 99.9% of kids in a playground, they're like, watch me.
Yeah.
And we're born feeling enough. So it will be unfortunately, the conditioning,
Yeah.
the experiences that at some point we just go, well, am I enough? Is that person right? Is that advert aiming it at me? Is that... But this is why these conversations, because we're almost calling out what needs to be called out.
What does enough mean to you?
Baseline, fundamentals, just raw. It's mad, isn't it? Because I think we have this thing of to be enough, it's like piled all these things on top. To me, honestly, enoughness it actually comes right back to soul self for me. It is the moment that we start to reconnect back to, and obviously whether it is religion, I actually think the more that we connect to something, whether we call it outside of ourselves, that calls us back to ourselves. I know, and this has taken me like a long 30 odd years to be able to say, I am enough. And it's not my job to make my husband happy.
Yeah.
It's not, the kids slightly different. It's not my job to fix people, to raise to the expectations of what my parents might think, or to shrink myself to not make my brother feel a certain way. Like whatever those things are, it's a constant choice to remember to come back to my truth, which is, and it's not easy, it's a constant remembering of I am enough.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be enough for everyone.
Yeah.
People are going to want more from me. And that's okay.
That's really interesting. I think loads of people don't have that. I don't think they
I wholeheartedly agree. And I think, ask me that again in another 5 years' time, I'd probably look back and go, oh, I remember being on this amazing podcast, this amazing woman. And I thought I really knew what enoughness was. And I find that, like, I look back to 5 years ago and I'm like, oh, I thought I knew that then. And I did. That was as much as I could comprehend.
That makes sense. Can we then agree that enoughness is a journey?
100%.
To give people the ability to feel that they don't have to define enoughness now.
Yes.
Because that gives me a pass out. Yes. And I'm trying to work out what that means. What does it mean I'm enough? I feel like I'm enough. Do I know? I question it. Maybe I feel enough one day, but not enough another day.
Oh, you could ask me on another day.
Yeah.
And obviously this is my jam.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
This is my jam. I love riffing on this stuff. So I feel enough.
Yeah.
Ask me when we're getting the school reports and it's maybe, did I do enough reading with my kids? Could I have done more reading at bedtime? Yeah. Oh, okay. Did I do enough? Am I enough? It's often, have I done enough? That triggers the enoughness, but not always. Not always. It can be, especially when we hear things like, well, just try your best.
Yeah.
Or just do this. It's like, well, what if you did try your best as a kid?
Yes. Yes.
Where's the ceiling on that? You know, when we get told that all the time, just be yourself.
Oh my
but
gosh.
we get stripped back of every part of us at any opportunity, and just go and do your best. If you didn't get the grades that people expected from you, well, what if you did your best? What if you're trying as hard as you can? What if you don't enjoy what you're doing? Do you know what I mean? There's so many layers to it. So I think, like, I remember having this moment when I was in Dubai, and I walked out of the toilets and there was a mirror there, and I had been on, and I mean like a deep excavation journey of myself and healing inner child wounds. And I'm still doing that now. And I walked out of the toilets and I was just happy that I'd been able to save up enough to go to Dubai.
Yeah.
And we've got a couple of friends over there. So we were like at a brunch. It felt like, and I was married to someone who I care about so much. And I had this moment, and I leant forward and I looked at myself in the mirror, and this was like my Greg sausage roll, another awakening moment. And I just leant forward. I was like, I fucking love you.
Oh.
And I allowed myself to think it, and then I allowed myself to say it. And I like purposely did that, because how often do we in Dubai?
Yes.
We're like, it's my boobs enough.
Yes.
It's my hair enough, because everyone is like, frick, it's pristine, isn't it, over there? And my hair was a bit curly and messy, and I got a bit jet lag, but I was starting to learn this stuff and believe it. And I remember it, and it's like this anchored in moment where I was like, fucking love you.
Love that.
And there was nothing special about it. It wasn't that I was draped and I hadn't made X amount of money and I hadn't done, there was a couple, don't get me wrong, I was in Dubai. It was like a few little milestones, but it was a feeling of contentment and allowing myself to say it. I don't know if anyone else, don't get me wrong, there wasn't anyone washing their hands. There might have been someone else in the cubicle, but it was in the allowing.
Yeah.
So for anyone, I would say, have a chat with yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like, you're not as bad as you think. You're a good human.
Yeah.
Just allow yourself a bit of happiness.
And you know what? That really, I think that will empower so many people, because we are evolving.
Yes.
So the enoughness is evolving. We're ever changing. That's okay. There's no ceiling. When you feel like you are enough, you probably aren't. You in a weird way, because you have got the ability to keep going. And that's what you've taught me. One of the early things you said to me was, if I said to you this much, have a house. If I said to you this much, I'd be like, okay, maybe not. Now it's like, hang on, why not? Yeah. Why not? So that like enoughness has got so many different like caveats, variations to it.
100%.
Ways of thinking about it. Oh God, I'm obsessed with this conversation.
We need a sleeping bag and we'll just go all night.
Bye. So you've built this amazing community around you with the job that you've done and who you are as well, because people just fall in love with you the minute that you meet them. You've just got an energy and a radiance that is like so magnetic. But you've always like been able to protect your peace, and you've talked about that quite a lot, having the moment and, saying like having the talk in the mirror, How have you managed to, given that so many people like want you, in your kids, your husband, need you and all that, how have you protected your peace given you've created this big? Because I think that scares a lot of people. Like celebrity comes with, hang on, you can't be out there and then go,
Yes.
I've always thought that if you want to be on TV, you want to be in Love Island, you want to be that person, it's going to be really hard to protect your peace.
You've got to be available. Yes. Healthy boundaries that some people would call selfish. They've probably got a little mirror being held up to them. They're looking for that loop of validation or looping, like whatever that loop is. I am someone who realized that like very multifaceted and if I don't fulfill parts of those things, I'm just not as good of a human.
Okay.
So I honor my soul self a lot. And some nights it is love a Netflix binge, love it. And sometimes that is my soul having my fulfillment. Other nights it's I'm running a women's circle or I'm going to Dartmoor to sit with a couple of shamans for a couple of nights. That's for a whole other podcast.
She brings these things out, guys. I love it.
but that is it. And did I get some judgment from family? You're going away again. It's a couple of days before Halloween. You're going away. Why? And I found myself saying, well, it's work. I just call it work.
Yeah.
Well, technically it's work.
Yeah.
I'm working on myself. I'm not lying.
Yes, yeah.
But I will make sure almost that it's like, I'm doing this for us.
Yes.
And I think this is what we must start to, because the amount of women that especially that will say, well, it's selfish of me.
Yes.
Or my husband will say, you're doing this again.
Yes.
And it does hold a mirror up to the kinds of people that you've got around you.
Wow.
And then I will protect my inner peace at all costs. And I just think, I don't want to get to the end of my life and be like, I was available to everyone, but not myself.
Yeah. Gosh.
I've got nothing to show for it physically, but that fulfillment just isn't there. So I healthy boundaries, but that's come. I often say I'm a recovering people pleaser.
Oh, wow.
Because I have to constantly check in with myself.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yes is like verbal diarrhea.
Same.
So then I'm like, let me get back to you on that is my favorite. That's the best thing. If someone's like, oh, do you mind answering this blah, blah, or do you mind being available for this? Or could you do that? Let me get back to you on that. And it's like you get a couple of minutes or days or however long you need to go away and be like, is this in alignment with me? Does it serve me? Am I people pleasing? If I say yes, am I going to kick myself after?
It gives you a minute, doesn't it?
Gives you a hot minute
It
just to
gives
sit
you
and think.
a
Let me get
minute.
back to you on that. And then just decide from there. But again, all these things I have read, meditated on, listened to. All of this is like practice.
Yes.
And staying in awareness of self. And it becomes fun.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it becomes fun. And you can just be your own biggest cheerleader in the end.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm hearing that. I think that loads of people will feel that's okay. That gives you that, like you say, that hot minute.
Yeah.
I think that's really important to protect your peace. And you can I just say you do it beautifully.
Thanks.
Because I've always said I can't do Instagram, I hate it. But you see you and you get to see you, which I think is really important because it shows the human side of you without it ever encroaching into you.
Yeah.
Because you've managed to do that. So you deliver that beautifully, given that you've got such a wide gamut of what you do and who you are. And that's made me feel it's possible. One of the things that I've been doing a lot is trying to like understand what people are actually saying. And Reddit's great for that. I don't know if you've ever used it, but it's really, really good. It really talks about people's like visceral feelings. Ooh. They'll go onto Reddit and they'll be like, because it's what people are actually feeling and they feel like it's a place they can ask anything. Oh, so with that in mind and in the spirit of asking anything, somebody has said on Reddit, I've done all the affirmations, all the journaling, but I still feel insecure in my skin. Is confidence something that you build, or are we faking it until we make it?
This is
good,
juicy.
Isn't it?
A couple of things there. One is it is something we're born with.
Yeah.
It's innate. Yeah. It's our safety mechanism. Love me, look after me.
Yeah.
All eyes on me. The fake it till you make it, I often refer to this in business, but this can be in all areas. So let's say in our confidence, just in ourselves. But if we are building something and it's on false foundations, so I've even heard in the mindset world where it's like, pick someone you admire.
Yes.
And walk like you're that person.
Yes.
And do you know what? It works.
Yeah.
I can't lie, but it's the same way as if you watch a horror movie and there's blood and gore, we still have that reaction to it.
Yeah.
Even though we know it's not real.
Yes.
But that's our brain will simply just respond. So it's good for the interim. But what we're actually doing is we're like, right, okay, so I'm going to wear this red lipstick and I'm going to go into the office and I'm going to speak up. And then the next day I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to start to do this. And then and then people start to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then the world around you begins to respond differently. And if that's built on rocky-ish fake foundations, all it needs is a bit of a storm to hit.
Okay.
And we're like, ugh.
Yes.
And we will basically recoil. And I've seen this happen so many times, whether it's business, people have just built it from I'll show you energy or fear. And then they reach the top and they're like, oh my God, this is so unstable. I don't even know how I've got up here. Oh my God, I'm a fake. Oh my God, what happens if this? And then they shrink it back down.
So true.
Right? But what I wonder, especially in the aesthetics industry, if we are being told and believe the fake it till you make it, it's like, is that a part of where it's, well, if I adjust myself completely top to toe, waiting for this confidence, I'll be happy when?
Yes.
Is that something that comes into it? For me, I remember having this like light bulb moment where it's like, well, what if we stop faking it till we make it and start faithing it till we make it? If we have faith in ourselves that even if right now I don't feel like I have all the confidence under the sun, but I'm going to trust myself to go in there. I'm just going to wear what I want to wear. And I'm going to speak as best I can my truth. And then we tend to find that we get legit evidence that it is safe, and we begin to build the confidence on that. And I would say the same would go with ourselves.
Yeah.
It's if we're going in there with that faith it's like, I have faith, I'm doing this for me.
Yes.
I'm not doing it to try to fit in because all my mates are doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it because we're expected to at a certain age. I'm not doing it. I'm doing this because it's important for me to feel more confident.
Wow. That is so true. That resonates across every single area of what I do, what you do, who women are, who men are, like all of it. Can I just say, like, you've blown, I don't know how it's possible for you to blow my mind every time I meet you. You actually just blow my mind.
You are a part of this thing that happens. So I always feel exactly the same with you.
Do.
The depth of where we go, it's like,
unreal. Well, listen, can I just thank you for coming on, and please will you come back?
Yeah.
If people want to find more out about you, if they want to hear more about you, like, where do they go? Where's the best place to find you? Pop your website that I'm obsessed with and have open all the time on my desktop.
Do you? There's a rebrand coming soon. It's a very, very warrior woman. Yes.
Oh, I love that.
I'm excited. I would say probably Instagram.
Okay.
At Carol Ann Reid Coach.
Okay.
And podcast.
Okay.
Going Within is the new Going Out.
Ooh, I've seen that. I
will
love the picture.
you be on that with me? Because I'm going to be, yes, will you do it?
I would love to.
Okay, I've asked you live on here, so we've got to do it now.
It's happening, people.
And then website, Carol Ann Reid.
Okay. You mean, guys, you've heard it here. She is business coach, human extraordinaire, all around everybody, everything to me, certainly. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've loved it.
Me too.
I need to have you back.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, Carol Ann Reid. That's it for today's Barefaced Chat. Thank you so much for listening. If you've loved this conversation, make sure you follow, rate, and share. It really helps more people find us and join the conversation. I'll be back next week with another honest, unfiltered chat. Because skin isn't just skin. It's your story, and I'm here for it.